Hey, everybody. Good evening.
Hi.
Hello, 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 hello. I hope everybody has had a great weekend. And I'm excited. There's a lot that's happening in the world today, a lot that's happening in the news today. And so my sister actually was like, listen, we need to go, we need to talk about some of these things that are happening because I'm sure there are tons of people that have tons of questions and you need to get your questions answered. And really, I want to encourage you guys to get super inquisitive. Get super inquisitive. Start asking questions. Start figuring out, or asking, hey, what about this? What about that? How is COVID going to impact the economy? Because there's going to be an impact, and I don't think we've really seen the impact that's going to come on businesses at large and how we trade and how we do imports and exports and how that impacts our economy, but not just understanding our economy, but also taking responsibility and knowing that you can create your own economy. And that's why I asked, that's why my sister asked me to jump on here. And I said, Nick, I want you to join us. Nick is an expert crypto one of our master traders here at I Am Master Academy. And so, guys, I want you just to take this moment as you're jumping on here. Go ahead and start sharing this feed. Go ahead and text some family and friends that maybe been kind of, sitting back in the background. So, just to tell you guys a little bit about my story, I've been in this space for 4 years and 2 months, and it's probably one of the smartest wealth decisions that I could have made. A good friend of mine who didn't even stay with it called me and asked me to come in here to join, and I immediately saw innovation. I saw technology. I saw the change, and I was immediately attracted to it. I didn't know anything about anything, okay? I just knew that this was the future and that technology was not just impacting cell phones and how we do business, but it was also going to impact money. And so my sister's on here, and so I'm going to toss it to her really quickly and let her just tell quickly how she got involved because she's only been involved about a month and a half. So proud of her and already learning so much. So Janetta, just come on and share what attracted you to the space of financial and wealth education.
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much. I love you. My sister is amazing. I'm just saying she is. But yeah, no, again, thanks so much. I just, well, first of all, like you said, you've been doing this for about 4 years. I've just gotten in about a month now, and I'm just amazed of this whole wealth transfer situation that's happening in this whole world of trading and just things that I never heard of. I've never heard of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. This is like a whole new world to me. However, you've been talking to me about it. I've been seeing you out sharing this education with people. And, I was kind of like, yay, good job, yay, sissy, but you kept showing me the results of what was happening with you. And as we are in this economy now, you have to have several streams of income. I mean, it is just, thank God we're believers, but it could be a scary place if you don't do the right things. And so for me, I had to challenge myself, step outside of everything that I knew and said, okay, let me learn more. Let me hear more about this because it's happening whether you want to acknowledge it or not. So I had to say, you know what? Let's get with it because, things are moving so quickly. Technology moves so quickly. And if we're not careful, we'll get stuck in a certain way of doing things. And the world has moved way past and we're just lost. And so in this space, I'm just so thankful and I'm enjoying learning about it and so excited about it.
Yeah, and I just have to say before I throw it to you, Nick, I'm really proud of you because my sister and her husband have built a very strong financial empire. They have a multi-million-dollar business that they've been running for quite a while. I've seen them evolve. I've seen them grow. And, sometimes when you're talking to people who've already established a particular amount of wealth, they're kind of like, I'm good, And so my hat is off to you really because y'all directed nice. He's been like, Chad, you good. You know what I mean? Penthouse in the sky, right?
Yeah.
But you were like, no, something's happening. Let me get in on this. So, Nick, I want to go to you. How did you kind of get started in crypto? And then talk about COVID. I guess, you know what? Talk about COVID and the impact that you think it's going to have on our economy. Because I don't think most people realize all of these moving pieces, the closing down of restaurants, movie theaters. We see Cheesecake Factory going out of business. AMC has gone out of business. There's a lot of companies who just thought they were getting ready to start back, and now they're having to roll back. Talk about the impact that COVID-19 is going to have on our overall economy.
Yeah, I think it's huge, Jewel. First of all, thanks for having me, Dr. Jewel. Always a pleasure. And for those of you watching, you know, a lot of people are in fear and panic, and I believe this is the biggest opportunity anybody could have, truthfully, in business, investments, in the market. I'm no expert. I wish I had the genie's lamp and I could tell you guys what the crystal ball says. But what I could really see is I think this is going to continue in waves. And, you know, as we are seeing here, I'm in South Florida, here in Miami. And little by little, things are getting locked again. Bars are shutting down, alcohol is shutting down. Everything's really closing down again. And when businesses thought they were going to open, they're closing down. And major retail stores are actually now closing their doors. So what is that going to do to us? You know, the people. I believe that the stock market's going to be heavily impacted. I believe the cryptocurrency impacted. Every market's going to be impacted. But the beauty of it is being prepared with this information. You know, I research a lot, and it's having cash in hand, having, you know, money available to be able to, you know, what they say in crypto, buy the dip, or be able to position yourself, because I believe in these steps in history, because this will go down in history, and you will be asked in 2020. What did you do when COVID happened? And most people will say they panicked, they lost their jobs. And most people will say, I got educated, I got positioned, I got invested, I got ahead of the curve. And I believe for people that are now here watching, really confused, maybe at home, I think it's the best time to get educated, because COVID is going to create another wave where it's going to push down all the markets, but that gives everybody an opportunity. Maybe you're not even in the markets yet, where you could get invested. Bitcoin, for example, when COVID came about, market went from $10,000 to $3,800 in about a couple of weeks. And then a month later, it doubled in price. So whoever would have been bought Bitcoin at those levels would have already doubled their initial return on investment. Same with stock market, Boeing, MGM stocks, all of these different markets were heavily bought back. So you just have to get educated, because I do believe that we're going to see another push down. I don't believe any market's really going to survive. Because everything's going to get hit. I used to think crypto and COVID was going to thrive, but clearly it didn't. So more than likely, we're going to see a push lower. But with what Dr. Jewel, myself, and many others do, is we could make money while the market is dropping. So to me, it's the most exciting time, because COVID to me has been one of the best, you know, quarters financially in my life, to be honest with you, because I've been being able to sell all the markets. I mean, everything. So I think COVID's is opportunity for people that are watching this. Opportunity.
Wow.
Wow.
So good. So while the world is panic, and you're saying, hey, no. Wait, this is actually a great opportunity for you. Janetta, you and I were talking yesterday about how we were reading about unemployment. And they were saying how unemployment is higher right now than it was during the Great Recession of 2008.
Yeah.
By the way, people of color are being impacted where unemployment is concerned more than any other group. And so, Janetta, will you just kind of speak to why? I know you have been, I'm telling you, my sister went from, oh, I'm proud of you, great job, but never talking about it, to calling me every day, like, girl, we got to tell this person. Girl, we got to tell this person. It's like you had a fire lit up under you. Like, I got to go and save these people.
Yeah.
While everybody else is going down, I want them to know if they get educated, they can come up.
Yeah, no, that's so good. I was actually looking.
I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. My husband actually sent something from the New York Times today, and it's the title of the article is "The Fullest Look Yet at the Racial Inequity of Coronavirus," and it shows coronavirus cases per 10,000 people, with Latinos at 73, Blacks at 62, all 38, and white at 23. So speaking back to what she just talked about, people of color are being impacted on so many levels. And so for me, as I started getting educated, like, oh my gosh, I can share this with people that I know who lost their job, people that I know who are struggling every day. You know, I'm very passionate about that, because I do understand that wealth brings freedom, wealth brings options. And so the more I'm learning, the more excited I'm getting about it, because honestly, I'm like, why didn't I learn this in school? Like, you're just like, I feel like it's like the secret society, doing all this training. And so I feel like the blinders are taken off of my eyes. So not only for me am I getting educated and excited, especially in this environment. I was talking to a friend of ours that Jewel and I grew up with who lives in Houston. And I said, girl, how are you doing? Houston, they said like 1 in 4 people. I talked to Sonia, Jewel,
Oh
who
yeah.
lives in Houston. I texted her. I was like, girl, how you doing? Because they said in Houston, 1 in 4 people are coming up positive. 1 in 4. She said, I'm not leaving the house. I'm like, well, how are you working? She's like, I don't know. So again, as we talk about this is real stuff. These are real issues. Even with my son who's in college, we're like, do we send him back to school or not? Well, first they're saying he's going back. Now they're drawing it back. Teachers think about, do I want to go back in the classroom? So bottom line is this space gives you options because I hate people struggling. I've struggled. It is not fun. Okay, let's be real clear. Struggle is not fun. It's not cute. And then you add struggle on top of a pandemic, that is called stress and a lot of it. So to be able to have a space where you can learn, educate, and share, this is phenomenal. So I said, I'm turning into, I told my sister, I'm turning into you because literally she was always talking about this. I'm like, okay, girl, let's see us move on. And now I'm always like, hey, so what about this? What about that? And I'm calling everybody and sharing it with everybody because I'm telling you, this is where it's at. I believe that, and my husband preached about this. He said this is like a shift, and that those who get it are going to be good. It's kind of like, if you think of the Bible, I talked about the blood was on the door, and it was like a Passover. I believe, yes, this is happening, but it's going to pass over certain groups of people who did the right thing.
That is so good. Nick, talk a little bit about the early adopter mindset, because you definitely have an early adopter mindset. I remember when I first heard Nick, it's been several years ago. I think you were at the, I think the women's
in Orlando.
This bruh. It was blue. Everybody's mind was like blue. I was like, I need to get on every educational session this man has. And he's just the nicest guy, very, very authentic, very transparent, huge heart. Talk a little bit about the early adopter mindset, because I think for people who maybe have been a little slow, my concern is really for the people that don't kind of grab this. Talk a little bit about that early adopter mindset and why it's so important right now.
Yeah, so what Dr. Jewel is referring, so early adoption is pretty much being a part of something before everybody else is. They say true wealth is catching pre-wave, before the momentum, before everybody knows about everything, and especially in crypto. I mean, most people found out about cryptocurrency once, the average Joe, the Uber driver, your friend, your uncle started talking about it. And that's when it was too late. That's when it was time to sell, personally, just pretty much giving some ideas. But being pre-adopter is pretty much positioning yourself early. And I believe in markets, in industries. I mean, you talk about the .com bubble, you talk about real estate, you talk about getting shares in Amazon. That is being the pre-adoptive phase. So in crypto, it's just a 10-year-old market. It's such a prime investment in my eyes, because it's a technology that we're heading into. Something I want to talk about is COVID has shown the world that fiat money is less important. In China, for example, that tangible fiat money, these dollar bills, people are withholding them from circulation because they think that the virus itself can be spread. So you kind of have to think about it like, okay, so now even countries are realizing we got to go digital. So yeah, cards might work and debit cards and bank accounts, but what is a global currency? We don't have that yet. So Bitcoin, coins like Ethereum, Ripple, Litecoin, all of these coins really are going to be showcased. And I believe the people that were involved early, and most people that watch these, or when we talk about cryptocurrencies, they feel like, oh, I'm too late. It's $10,000. It's already here. Well, you have to understand, it's just the beginning. That's like saying, oh, the Amazon share is $100 and now it's well over $900. It's like, if you don't have depth of vision in any investment or industry, you won't see the bigger picture. Bitcoin is more than just an investment. When you're able to understand it, and that's why it's so important, Dr. Jewel talks about it all the time, is get educated. When you get educated, things make sense. And when they make sense, they tend to make money. So you just have to understand where something is headed, so then you could be an adopted, like pre-adoption phase. So while everybody jumps on, you're already in. So for example, well, everybody was getting into Bitcoin. I was already in at $700, $800, $900. And I'm like, go people, but it's just like, you gotta be early. You gotta be early. So that's the pre-adoptive, I would say mentality you gotta have.
That's good. There's an article that just came out. Well, this is probably the second wave of it, but I saw it yesterday. Again, it basically was talking about the US dollar. Possibly, the government is looking to make the US dollar digital. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that? And what will, I'm curious to see what technology will, because crypto is based on technology. So I'm curious to see what technology are they going to try to attach to it, and what kind of impact will that have on Bitcoin, if any?
So I think it'll be good. I think the more governments and the SEC and regulating bodies, the more they explore the idea of having something digital, maybe if they don't even use Bitcoin, I think it'll be able to create new tax laws, new legislations, new laws for all of these different cryptocurrencies, which would then be something called adoption, where every person would be able to feel comfortable. Europe, for example, has already tried launching their own, digital euro, for example. The US is next. But I think they're going to be using it's pretty. I think it will be pretty obvious that they use blockchain as well. It's the only way that they'll actually possibly have a program for it to work worldwide, or maybe here in the US. But I think it'll be a positive for Bitcoin, because if the US dollar becomes digital, it just shines a light for people to go, oh, okay, so the US dollar is digital, but look at all these other digital cryptocurrencies. And obviously the digital dollar is going to be what we call centralized. So it's going to be managed by central authority, which is what Bitcoin is not. At the end of the day, it's still monitored and controlled by our government, central banking, while the Bitcoin, it's not. It's control of the people. Makes sense? So I think it'll actually shine more light into everybody to take a look at all these other cryptocurrencies.
That's good. Janetta, you had a question for him?
No. I just, when he said that the dollar may go like digital, I'm just like, wow, like people, the shift has happened. Like, it's just, again, I'm just amazed. As a matter of fact, okay, just this is kind of separate, but it's not. Todd, my oldest son, came and showed me that the NBA has a ring that can tell if you're COVID positive or not. That's what they have to play. Did you hear about that?
No.
That's crazy.
A ring. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I was like,
wow.
So the point of the matter is, it kind of reminds me, God bless our grandmother. She's 95 now. And I remember I bought her a cell phone, and she got the phone and she just held the phone. She just kept it. She's just like, I don't know how to use this thing. You know what I mean? Like, she was scared of the phone. And I said, Graham, all you do is push the button and you can hear the people on the other line. She's like, okay, we'll see. And so she got that down. And then texting took another year. My point is, we have to make sure that we are not having that grandma mentality, no shade to our grandmother, as it relates to the shifts that are happening in our society, as it relates to money, especially in this atmosphere. Like I said earlier, Joel, when you walked away, African Americans and Latinos are being hit by this virus at like double and quadruple numbers depending on where you are. And so it's so important that we start looking at spaces. Shifts are happening. Businesses are closing. What are you going to do? So if you get an opportunity to get into a space that's COVID, to me, like, you think about the industries where you have to go out and work and all of these things. The thing about this space, you can do this right in your home, right? This is like, it doesn't matter what's going on outside. You are good. So, again, just making sure, as you said, Nick, as well, making sure your mindset is in place. I think that's the biggest thing, because for me, Jules, my sister, and we have other family members in this space. I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I don't know what Bitcoin is, cryptocurrency. You might as well be speaking Russian to me, okay? Like, you might as well speak Russian. And I had to say, you know what, Janetta, you may dominate in certain areas, but it's time for you to learn something new. It's time for you to step outside of your comfort zone and learn. And there's going to be a fear factor, but you know what? Anytime you don't know something, it's going to be some fear with it, but you just have to trust your gut. And the proof is in the pudding. So
no, you're right. You just have to kind of step out there. And I think, and this is why I really want everybody to be wealthy, because I think COVID also it amplified the fact that you better make sure your health is okay. Because I'm sure we probably have all come in contact with it. I've got, my alkaline water with electrolytes here that I'm drinking every day. I have a girl now that comes over every month, sometimes twice a month, to give me hydration, therapy with the best vitamins. And, I keep the house stocked full of vitamins and eating right. And so I think that self-care is expensive. That's the reality. Her coming to the house, the hydration was one cost, and then her, pulling up was another cost, So, and then doing the family, so it's like, for so many reasons, we really need to be wealthy. Now, Nick, for those of us that have been in this space for 2020, it has been a sheer, pure economic boom. It's not. And here's the thing, is it can be that for you guys too. You don't have to just sit on the sidelines and say, yay, Nick, Jewel, and Janetta. You can say, I need to come in here and I need to find out what they're talking about. And I need to ask questions and I need to dig around and I need to get nosy. Because if money is being made, especially in large proportions, I need to make it. Talk, I guess, a little bit about some of the things that are happening with your students and even your crypto mentors, and kind of what's happened with the economic boom this year that you've seen in this space that we're in, that you guys watching all have an opportunity to become a part of.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, talking about our students, we have an app called SwipeCoin. We've been able to just deliver, outrageous numbers, but not just the results. It's really the lives that are being impacted, because here in the platform of I Am, maybe you've never traded or invested in the past, and that's actually exciting. You should be excited that you don't have a background in this, because that's how I stepped in, and I had mentorship, I had guidance just like you're gonna have. And the beauty is you don't need any prerequisite, any expertise, any knowledge in the industry. I came into this, I thought I needed to be good at math. Like, it's nothing like that. You just need to have guidance and mentorship. And with our students, we've seen thousands. I mean, we have people all over the world, US, Europe, South America. I mean, globally, people are able to, model our trade ideas, generate income, but more importantly, they're able to get educated and position, like we talked about, and learn a skill set. Because just like anything, I mean, tying a shoe, driving a car, getting good at its sport, it's all practice. And, at this time, a lot of people now have downtime. They're at home watching Netflix, a lot of time on their hands. And you could just ask yourself, getting out of COVID, walking out of it, when it does happen, are you going to walk out with a new skill set, a new income stream, or are you just going to walk out like you stepped in? And it's a good question that I ask a lot of people, because it's like, what are you doing for your family, at this position? If things aren't going your way, what could you change from your home? Because, truthfully, all the stock companies, all the real companies that are work from home based are taking off. Zoom stock taking off, everything, GoToWebinar, all of these different work from home avenues are taking off. So you got to find a way how you could get, your piece of the pie. And I believe I Am working with Dr. Jewel, Jeanette. I mean, they could definitely help you every step of the way in getting educated and earning income, because it's definitely possible for any student. I mean, I could tell you single-handedly as one of the master traders in the company. So it's exciting.
That's so good, because I think you guys just sent out Ivan Paycheck just sent out a chat voicemail, but this is the SwipeCoin app, guys. I have it. I love it. I'm making money trading crypto. I have a separate crypto account. And this just says, where to invest your money in your 20s. Invest in books, crypto courses, yourself, good food and knowledge. And that's really any age. That's really really good. And then it talked about, what is this? Buying one Bitcoin, $100,000.
What's that?
This one.
Oh, so it was saying, so one Bitcoin, so you could break up a Bitcoin into something called Satoshis. So a Bitcoin, look at it as $1, and Satoshis is like cents. So when you buy a Bitcoin, you technically have 100 million Satoshis. So it's like the penny. So it's the small increments of Bitcoin, because the name comes from the creator. His name's Satoshi Nakamoto. So that's why we call it Satoshis.
Got it. Now this is another one you guys sent over, said Bitcoin to 300,000.
And possibly more. I mean, ideally, statistically speaking, We believe that Bitcoin could be in the next 4, 5, 6 years, $500,000, $1 million, because just due to its nature and how it's impacting the world. I mean, if we talk about economics, you have to think about it. 30% of the world is unbanked, meaning they can't participate, in the global economy. And Bitcoin, if people have access to a phone and internet, people literally can just have a Bitcoin wallet and transact all around the world. There's Visa cards now with Bitcoin wallets where you don't even need a bank. You could just literally swipe through your Bitcoin wallet. So I think where we're headed with crypto, whether Bitcoin takes the throne or someone else takes it to the throne, I think there's so much room. It's just positioning yourself, like we continue to talk about, because, we repeat it so much, but it's really it. If you would have been, an Amazon pre what it is now, if you were in, part of anything. Some of us got into Facebook early on, and you felt the ride of the community of how big it got. Same thing here. You're going to be a pioneer, but here, instead of watching a company earn millions, you have a piece of the pie. If you have a couple Bitcoins and you watch your portfolio rise, so it's fun, it's exciting.
Wow, that's great.
Janetta, you've been digging into the platform, and I know at first you were like, "Oh Lord." Talk about what your experience has been like, and getting on there and trading together and getting everything acclimated. What's your experience been like?
It's very, very user friendly. Let me just say that. And my experience has been that it's fun. I think, like I said, once you just make a decision, like, you know what, let me get in here. Let me start watching the videos. It's super fun. I was watching it with my 14-year-old, and we were going over it together. He was enjoying it. We did it for like 3 hours one day because I was having so much fun with it. And then I recently started practicing in my demo trading account, which was extra fun because I made I think it's like $5,000 or $6,000 last week in my demo account. I was like, okay, I can see this, I can do that. So it's so fun to really kind of take what you're learning and you get that practice, and the support is amazing. Like, you feel like it's a community. So in this area, because you don't know about it, it would be really scary to do something like this maybe by yourself. I hear people like, oh, I'll just look it up on Google. No. You need a community. And that's the piece I love so much, is that you have so many support. And then we had a training call a day, and I learned something else new that I hadn't heard. So it's just a constant, I feel like my brain's being constantly stimulated. I'm like, whoa, like my synapses are constantly going off. But it's so exciting because I'm not just learning something, but this is actually changing the trajectory of not just me, but my family, because my children are learning to trade as well.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Nick, talk about what are some of the first steps? We got a lot of brand new people on here. Tamika, I see you, girl. I got you. We got a lot of brand new people on here that are like, okay, so walk me through. So they'll get signed up one time for $324. I recommend that because that's going to allow you to learn crypto, Forex, and stock options. And then $274 every 30 days. But if you get 2 customers, your monthly fee is waived. Or you can just come in on the baseline product for $234 and add on something like Swipe Coins. Because how much is Swipe Coins?
It's $50. $50. Mm-hmm.
$50. Okay, so $50. So you can do $234 plus $50 if you're interested in crypto. I recommend learning crypto, because it's the fastest growing asset in the last 10 years, right, Nick?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so I think that's important. So talk a little bit, because you guys have beginners videos for crypto when people first get started, right?
Yeah, so we have an app and we have a full website, so myswipecoin.im, where we have a course, English, Spanish, soon to have Portuguese and even French, where you'll have the basics, of education from what is Bitcoin. Maybe you still don't understand it. You still don't understand the technology. And we show you step-by-step how to use our content, our material, so you could start learning, get educated, start getting a portfolio, and then you could even day trade it on a day-to-day basis. Because you could do 2 things in crypto that's real special. You could invest for the long term, but in the day-to-day, there's going to be moves, up, down, and trading on MetaTrader 4, which is the platform we trade. You could take these positions and make, a couple hundred pips, which, pretty much represents points in the markets, and make, a 3, 4, 5-figure trade, in fractions of a week, potentially, obviously, through our app. So it's exciting because you could get educated, and then you could just model to master trade. So for example, I'm one of the master traders, and my partner, who's Crypto Picasso, who taught me how to trade 4 years ago, he's somebody who's earned, a lot of money, a lot of it. And he's been trading for well over 12 years. I mean, he's in Costa Rica. He got his mansion on a hill overlooking the water, all paid in Bitcoin. So you get the idea. So he sends positions, I send positions, and then you're able to model our positions and then get educated while you're doing it. Yep.
That is
wow. Costa Rica, huh? I love it.
People are buying real estate with Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about some of the companies and how people are using Bitcoin right now today.
Yeah, so our co-owner, co-creator, his name's Ivan Paychecks. He did the first Bitcoin to Bitcoin real estate transaction in the U.S. So we had so for example, he bought his condo. He sent the Bitcoin straight to the owner and got the deed right away. There was no middleman, no bank, absolutely anything. He came out all over the news. I mean, there's so many different companies now. You can buy luxury cars. Lamborghini Miami and Newport takes Bitcoin. I mean, so many places now just take Bitcoin, and slowly they're seeing an increase because it's a form of payment. And how you could see it is there's no middleman. There's no 3%. There's no merchant. There's no bank. I mean, you send money to the UK, it'll take you 3, 4, 5 business days. In Bitcoin, it takes minutes, seconds, if not. And it really cuts everything, in speed a lot faster. And I think it's just a lot friendlier. US, a lot user friendly. So there's so many companies. I mean, real estate's right now what's really getting excited with Bitcoin, because you could be buying all sorts of properties right now thanks to Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's crazy. And if you guys have questions for Nick, put them in the comments. Throw them in the comments. If you got a quick question for Nick, people are saying, I want to get started. I know that's right. I mean, I think if you got any kind of financial instinct at all, we should all be saying, if I wasn't in, I would be saying, sign me up right now. Don't sit here and hear this kind of huge wealth opportunity and sit back and say, oh, I'm going to see. What are you talking about? Hey, you going to see. You got 3 people on here right now. We're not all on here lying, wasting our Sunday evening. And up here telling no lies. Child, you better jump in here and stop acting crazy. So really quickly, Janetta, did you have any questions for Nick?
No, I just love this. As you're talking, Nick, about, the co-owner and things, the testimonies that I've been hearing of people. I remember you had me on the phone with someone recently, Jewel, who he had talked about. He's a pastor. He had lost everything and he started trading, and now they just bought a new home in Florida and they just got a new car. I mean, it was so emotional. And he just said, I was so happy my wife stuck with me. I've heard so many testimonies in this space, and I'm just like, this is phenomenal. This can be you. This is gonna be me. You know what I mean? Like, and even my sister, like, honest to God, that was part of it. And I know she probably knew what she was doing. She'd just say, oh, look what I did today trading. I'm just saying, have a good day. And she got every day after day. And I'm like, you know what? So no, again, it's just a phenomenal space. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah. And so you guys, when you enroll, you get 2 people and then they waive your monthly fee. And most people are ready to go. Most people are ready to go, and so it's not hard getting your 2 people. And you don't have to get 2 people every month, just 2 people one time. All right, as we get ready to wrap tonight, Nick, what would be the last thing that you would tell a brand new person that's watching this?
I would follow the system to the T, get guided, ask Dr. Jewel, ask Janetta, who the people that are going to be walking you every single step of the way, and just get to it. Take action, put everything aside, put the phone down, get real serious, because this is your future we're talking about. And take notes, take everything in hand, and just go absolutely nuts getting educated. Because how I see it, you could take a month to do the whole academy, or you could take a couple days and continue to revisit. And it's all you determine the speed. And especially, this is how I would see it. COVID eventually is going to end. And how I see it for people that haven't been involved in the market is your opportunity to take advantage of COVID is going to end. So the faster you get educated, the faster you're able to position yourself, the more money and possibilities that you have at hand. So the faster you run, the quicker you get it. I mean, I think there's a lot of growth for everybody and a lot of money to be made.
That's so good. Somebody was asking about Bitcoin and taxes. You want them to get with their accountant or?
Yeah, I would recommend going with their accountant. Bitcoin, depending on the states, it's still a bit of a gray area. It's marked as capital gain for now, but it's still, that's why I was talking about earlier, there's not much real legislation and laws and tax laws. So the sooner we get that, the better it is for the future growth, because we're slowly seeing it being adopted in the stock market, all sorts. I mean, the SEC is now talking about, they're having hearings for it. So slowly we'll get there. But for now, I would recommend going to your accountant, and he'll probably, guide you the best.
Yeah, that's good. Janetta, last word. People that are watching live.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nick said it best. After this is over, is your testimony going to be, I got through all my seasons of my favorite show? Or is it that I built my net worth? You know what I mean? Because Netflix got their money. It's time for you to get yours. So at the end of the day, take advantage of this opportunity. The shift has happened. The movement has happened. There's a book called Who Moved the Cheese? The cheese has moved. It's time for you to go get it. And so, don't take this lightly. I am speaking, my sister, like I said, I'm new in this space. So for all those people like, I get it. Trust me, I get it. But guess what? It's going to be one of the best things you've ever done. And I know for me already, it's one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Yeah, I mean, think about it like this. That's good, Janetta and Nick. Think about it like this. We got 6 months left for 2020.
Wow.
So you really got to ask yourself, how do I leave 2020 and how am I going to go into 2021? Because the thing about it is losers lose and winners win. And so one thing I love about this space is you're going to be around a bunch of winners who are not sitting back talking about how afraid they are or what they're going to do. Thank God we're certain, we're clear. We know what we have to do to protect our health. We know what we have to do to build our wealth. And we're having those discussions. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to just sit here and panic and fear. As a matter of fact, most high net worth individuals are not even talking about being afraid of COVID. Am I right, Nick? Yep. I know there's some conversations. People are not sitting around over here talking about, ooh, I'm scared. You just don't hear a lot of fear. Let's take that out with that real quick, because I know that we're having conversations and we're not sitting around talking about we're afraid. Can you hear me, Nick?
Yeah, I lost you there.
Okay, I was just saying we're over here. We're not having conversations about how we're afraid.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, and on the contrary, I'm not here to get all political or talk about beliefs or anything, but I think, most people that, are the 1%ers, the 2%ers, the 3%ers, they're looking for abundance. They understand that this has happened in 08 and 09. I mean, it's already happened. So history will tend to repeat itself, whether it was the house market crashing, the COVID and the next one and the next one. So I think people are just in the right state of mind that are in the elites. And you have to be in that. I mean, you got to look at everybody else that's seeing massive amounts of success and abundance. How are they reacting to these situations? How are they applying themselves? How are they educating yourself? And instead of being on the flip side of watching the news, counting, I don't even know cases. Like I get told the cases when I'm in an Uber or where I get to, by a family member. I am oblivious because it's not that I don't believe, I respect it, but I am focused. I know where I'm headed. I'm getting the right education elsewhere, personal development. I'm oblivious until I know everything, is good to go. You know what I mean?
That mindset, boy. And the other thing, and this was one of the things I said initially, I'm just too busy. I've got this, I've got that. Like, no, this actually, sometimes if you're too busy to make more money, then it's time to do some adjustments, really. I mean, and the money where it doesn't require physically you going somewhere. I mean, that's major. So again, we need to stop putting all these barriers and obstacles we're putting. People who are really operating on a high level have multiple streams of income, this is just how it goes. So you have to make a decision. Is that what I want for myself and my family or not? I mean, and some people are going to say, I'm going to just work a 9 to 5 the rest of my life. Hopefully I get a retirement, maybe, maybe not, but as we can see with the economy and society, nothing's really guaranteed in the workforce. I mean, it's just not. And so it's time to make a decision.
Yeah, I love what he said, and I'll say more about this as some time goes on, but I was letting at church, we have something called prayer school, and they were like, so how have you dealt with this whole COVID thing? I said, honestly, from day one, I felt like it existed, but it didn't exist for me. Mm-hmm. And that I was disconnected from it. And I feel like if COVID saw me, it would die. But I've been building my faith. You see what I'm saying? I've been building my faith in that. I like what you said, Nick. I respect, all of that. But I'm saying I'm not participating. And that's been my confession every day. I'm not participating in sickness, and I'm not participating in lack. And so I can see the news and acknowledge that it's there, but I'm very mindful that the news is not getting me. I create my own news, and I create my own economy. And that's what I want you guys to know. So get back with the person that invited you on here. Tell them I'm ready to get started. No more excuses. Let's grow together. Let's make the next 6 months of 2020 the most powerful ever. Nick, thank you so much for
Nick.
Available. Janetta, I love you. Thanks for asking me to do this. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
The night, but I'm like, let's do it live. So you guys have a great night. Get back with the person.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.